Welcome to Don't Give Up on Testicular Cancer, a podcast where testicular cancer survivors, caregivers, and others who have navigated the cancer journey share their stories. The podcast comes to you from the Mallory Foundation, a nonprofit family foundation focused on educating about testicular cancer in honor and in memory of Max Mallory, who died in 2016 at the young age of 22 from testicular cancer. Had he survived, Max wanted to help young adults with cancer. This podcast helps meet that goal. Here now is your host, Joyce Lofstrom, Max's mom and a young adult cancer survivor.
Hi, this is Joyce, and the first thing I want you to know about my guest today, James Hible, is his talent for illustrating sports icons, primarily football figures from the UK. He is also a survivor of testicular cancer, which brought him here today for the podcast to share his journey, starting with his diagnosis in 2015. He's been passionate about art since childhood, and he studied illustration as part of his art and design degree. And as we'll learn, James has combined his love for football and art into a fulfilling career. So, James, I'm so glad you could be here with me today.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about your testicular cancer journey. Anything you want to share? It's been 10 years now, so...
I could start from the beginning if you like.
Sure, yep.
Okay, so going back to January 2015 was when I first noticed a lump on my right testicle when I was in the shower. And I was a bit wondering what it was, this lump, and a bit nervous. The health system at the minute, you can't really access your own doctors straight away. So I was sent to a standing doctor, which is called a locum. And he checked it over and he thought nothing of it, nothing to be concerned about. So I went back to my daily life. Then we fast forward to June, and I noticed that a second lump had come up, and the first lump was a bit bigger. So I went back to the doctor again. I was sent to the same standing doctor the first time around who missed it. And again, he thought nothing to be concerned of. And then so went away again. And then about end of July, August, it didn't go away. It got slightly bit bigger, both lumps. And I thought, right, I'm going to have to do something about this. So I tried again, and I finally got through to my own doctor, my actual GP. He looked it over, and straight away he sent me for a scan at Royal Hospital, which is in the West Midlands of England. So I had a scan in middle of August 2015, and then the results came back. I didn't find out the results until the first week of September. And the doctors there tell me they found a tumour, but they couldn't tell if it was cancerous yet until they did an operation on the testicle. So yeah, that was scary, and I was confused at just 25 years old just to get this diagnosis that I have a tumour, but they caught it early, so that was some good news. And then I had a scan, I think it was a CT scan, I think it was, where I had to drink this dye into my system. And I'm not a fan of needles as is, but I knew they had to. But the problem was, because my veins are so thin, it took them 4 attempts to find a vein, but they did finally get in the end. And then a week after the scan, I actually had my orchiectomy to remove my right testicle, which was successful. Afterwards, I felt a bit of pain and discomfort down there. And then the following month, about mid-October 2015, they confirmed it was cancer in that, but it was stage 1, so they did catch it early and it hadn't spread to my lymph nodes or anywhere else in my body, which was good. Then a few weeks after that, in I'd say November time, I was then referred to Cheltenham Hospital, which has an oncology centre there, which specialises in cancer treatment. And the doctors there gave me a choice of whether to have chemotherapy or just be right without it. And after my experiences of the doctor who missed it in the first place, and I just wanted to get chemotherapy done, make sure it was gone for good. Early December of that year, I had one round of chemotherapy. It wasn't straightforward because they had to put cannulas in my hands, take blood tests, and just prepare myself. When I got to the day of the chemotherapy, they couldn't put a cannula in the back of my hand because it was so bruised from all the times they had to. So what they had to do, it wasn't ideal, but they had to put the injection in the side of my wrist, which was painful. It was discomforting, and the only way to take the pain away, they had to put this hot water bottle on my over my wrist while having my chemotherapy in order to take the pain away and relax me while I was having it.
Wow.
Yeah. I had no immune system for about a week or so, and I also had to take these charcoal-like tablets. It wasn't pleasant, and I wasn't really feeling that good anyway. And then after that treatment, I had regular checkups every now and then to make sure I hadn't come back. I had checkups every few months until my last checkup, which was in June 2020.
Wow.
Yeah.
So they missed it twice, it sounds like?
This was the same standing doctor. He missed it twice.
Oh, James, gosh.
Yeah.
That's just sad. It's not good that you had to go through all that and go back. So during this, it sounds like about a year, and then all the follow-up for 5 years. What was your biggest challenge?
I guess trying to stay calm. I'm a bit fearful of what could be and scared of and confused of what these unknown things in my body could be. So it was just trying to just stay calm and have support from my family and friends just to reassure me that it's nothing right and it'll be all right in the end. Everything will be okay. So yeah.
And so when you were doing this, how did it affect what you were doing? Could you still work a little, or?
I could still work. I was given time off about a week. When I had to go back to work, I couldn't lift anything heavier than 2 kilograms for a certain amount of weeks. And I was still in some pain, so I had to take paracetamol to help me ease the pain. Yeah.
So let's shift over to art and illustrating, which is, I know, what you do for your business and your love of football. In America, we call it soccer, but I think football's appropriate here. And just kind of talk about what you do and how you got into it and your love of art.
My love of art started at first school when I was about 7 or 8 years old, when they became aware I was actually really good at art. And my love of football sort of started around that time as well. I started drawing football stuff in my spare time, which I loved. So I normally started off drawing club badges or football shirts in my youth. And then over the years, I kind of, when my art skills increased, I did more and more. But most of my life, it was more hand-drawn stuff and paints and that. And then I didn't go digital about early 2020 when I started using apps like Sketchbook and Adobe stuff more often. And the stuff I produce now is more on the Procreate apps on my iPad, and that's how I get more work done.
So I'm not as familiar with some of those. So you're basically saying you do it on the computer?
I do on a computer, yeah.
Well, I was impressed because you and I talked before we started to record earlier, but Patrick Mahomes is one of your subjects, the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs in America, and that's my team since I'm from Kansas City. It was a great illustration too. So
thank you.
Cool, you can do all that. Do you want to talk about the T-shirts, the soccer shirts, right? You have what?
I have over 200 football shirts in my collection over the years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you wear any of them, or are they just kind of like
I like wearing them. Any football shirts I buy, I tend to wear them straight away. And I still wear them when I go to the gym or go out or at home. I just tend to wear football shirts I like.
I have Mahomes, not an official NFL, but I have an old one from Joe Montana when he was with the Chiefs. But that's about all I have. So I don't have a big collection.
No.
Well, talk a little bit more about your art. I know you do work on commission. So do you go watch them play and then decide you want to draw them, or just, I guess your process of getting something drawn and available if anybody wants to buy it too.
I normally watch the sports on my TV or online. And if anything, if there's a standout moment or player from that particular day or weekend, then I would just draw it and post it online on my social media accounts. And I do commissions at times where people can just message me on, again, I'm easily reachable to sort something out, whether it's sports or can be anything personal.
And I think you probably kind of answered this, but I was going to ask you, what is your favorite type of person to illustrate or to draw?
I'd say I tend to like drawing footballers. The most difficult ones, though, are those with tattoos and beards because they have more detail in them. Yeah, but I still like drawing them. It takes longer, but it's doable.
I didn't think about that. That would be more challenging to make that look right. And it's been 10 years since you, were diagnosed with testicular cancer. Do you have any reflections on the past 10 years, or just what's your perspective on surviving now that it's been a decade?
I'd say I'm thankful for those in the NHS, most of them, for saving my life, and also those that have done charities, and my family and friends also that was there to support me as well. I still have this fear that it might come back in some form of cancer, but the chances of that for my testicular are quite low, are quite low. So that's some good news there.
Yeah, I think I'm a cancer survivor too, and I think any cancer, you always worry about, is it going to come back, or you go have a test, or like I'll go have a mammogram, and I'm just like, and you just, I guess you deal with it if it happens. That's about all you can do, So I was going to ask you another thing about your art, but I know just how people can find you. You mentioned that you're easy to find. I know you're on LinkedIn, but do you want to tell us how people want to look at your art, or find
post most of my art on my Instagram, so you can either type in my name as normal, or you can put in my social media handle at Hible James. I'm also reachable on other apps, so if anyone on X or Blue Sky, again, it's the same handle. If you type in my name as normal, or my handle, which is the same as Instagram, I'm easily reachable. Just type in James Hible as normal in a search bar, and it'll probably come up. Yeah.
All right. And then my last question is, what song, when you hear it, do you have to sing along to it?
I'd say it's probably one of my favorite songs. It's probably, I don't know if you've heard of them. It's Knights of Sidonia by the rock band Muse. Have you heard of them? Or?
No, I'm kind of behind. I'm a Beatles fan.
They do tend to, a lot of rock music. That's one of my favorite songs, probably. So I tend to like listening to that one.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I appreciate all your time in doing this and sharing your story and your art, which I think people will be interested in. So that's all I have, but thank you. I'm glad you are here with us, and
thank you for having
back, me. In a year or so, tell us what's going on. So
I'd be happy to. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, James.
Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you for watching this episode of Don't Give Up on Testicular Cancer. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to our program on your favorite podcast directory. You can also visit the Max Mallory Foundation at www.maxmalloryfoundation.com/podcast to listen to previous podcast episodes or donate to the foundation. Join us again next time for another episode of Don't Give Up on Testicular Cancer.